generally, when I teach Tonglen, I always like to start with ourselves. And we can do a little bit of that, but I also sometimes do Tonglen just straight away for somebody suffering in the world, who I've read about in the news, or a relative who's sick, or a friend, or something like that. So the theme for today can be this war in Ukraine. So, of course, with Donglen, we use breath. We breathe in the suffering in the form of dense, heavy clouds, sort of like storm clouds. We breathe those into our hearts, our compassionate hearts, and through the power of our compassionate hearts, that suffering can go into the whole ground of being, the whole ocean. And that ocean, of course, a quality of it is compassion. Another quality of it is like joy beyond anything we could even hold or experience fully. But there's that much joy. And so on the out breath, we send out bright, spacious clouds into whoever's suffering. And so we've all been seeing things on the internet and reading about and seeing pictures of people in Ukraine. And so we'll picture them in our minds right now. So seeing distraught, hungry mothers and their children standing in long, long lines with the few possessions they were able to carry. And we naturally feel compassion for them. We don't want them to suffer. And so we breathe in their experience of suffering in the form of those dense clouds right into our hearts, and through the doorway of our hearts into the ground of being. The vast, compassionate ocean that we're all made of. So it's not far away at all, because that's what we're made of. And on the exhale, we send out bright, billowing clouds of joy, breathing it right into them, and seeing their pinched, concerned faces begin to soften. And we breathe again. Enveloping them with those bright clouds of joy. And as the clouds sink into them, they feel happy and they don't even understand why. And along with those clouds of pure joy, we also wish for them home, food, family, all of the things that have been torn from them. And we breathe again. Taking away the suffering, breathing, sending the bright, spacious clouds into them. Then we think of others who have stayed to fight, and others who have stayed for various reasons, for family members and so on. And of course, they're frightened, going through trauma of loss and the horrible sights that they're seeing, hearing the bombs. So we breathe for them. Breathing in the dense clouds of this suffering. And from that great ocean of awareness, we send out through our hearts, through our breath, into these suffering ones, the pure joy, the vast, powerful joy of the grounded being. And we breathe again. Wishing for them joy now amidst the insanity of war, and the joy of reunion with their families and rebuilding as quickly as possible. We wish all good things for them. And joy, not just for now, but forever. We breathe again. And then if you feel you can manage it, I invite you to breathe for the soldiers who were told something very different and were tricked into this war and are also suffering, the Russian soldiers. And we breathe in their suffering. And suffering is suffering in the form of these dense clouds, pure and simple. These are people who left their families and did not want to risk their lives and do these terrible things. And so we breathe for them. And we breathe for the Russian people back in Russia who are being tricked, most of them. Some of them know the reality and are protesting. They're upset. They're afraid to protest and upset. They're all seeing their economy crash. They don't know what the West will do. And so they live in fear. And actually, they're human beings who want to be happy, don't want to suffer, would rather not conduct a war if there's a way to avoid it, would rather just lead a happy family life. And so we breathe for them. On the exhale, remember to breathe joy into them. And imagine if they had the ultimate joy of enlightenment. This is the waking up that would actually end wars. And bring a much happier experience for everyone. And we think of everyone in Europe, no matter what alliances their country has, everyone is sort of holding their breath in a way on the edge of their seat and very concerned, wondering if it's going to come to biological or nuclear war. And so we breathe for everyone across Europe. Make your inhale and exhale equally strong, equally taking away suffering and sending happiness. And remember, you're not taking on personally any of the suffering. It's moving through your compassionate heart with your clear intent and power of mind into the vast ocean of awareness and drawing joy from that same ocean of awareness. And finally, we breathe for all beings on the earth who at one time or another have suffered from war. And time not actually being linear, we breathe for everyone, including ourselves. And one more breath from all directions. And then sending out in all directions.